Let me see if this is it.
Yeah.
Giving you the funk 24/7.
We on.
You're listening to Philly Funk Radio.
Turn me on, turn me on, turn me on.
Live from Philadelphia, PA.
All right, here we go. All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. You are checking us out live right here on the Philly Live Show, and we are here on, well, we're recording this on Sunday afternoon on November the 10th, 2024. So I'm joined by my host, Mr. Van Stone, and we're going to throw it over to him. Van, how you doing?
All right. So, of course, welcome, Philly, all our viewers and listeners, Black Philadelphia. Of course, this is Philly Live, and we're still doing Cali Live, and we're just waiting to get around to our California partners to get back. But today we have, of course, I'm Van Stone, the face behind the voice, with my partner Jerry Wilson, and also Whitney Hickson. She'll be sliding in hopefully soon. At least we dialed her and called her up. This is a special show once again, because we just had the election. We were trying to do a special show before the election. We just got so busy, but we have the end results. There's a lot of things going on. We need to discuss that. But before we get into that, we have a lot of new things that we're going to be adding, just especially because of the election. So number one, how do you guys like the new background in the studio there, Philly Funk Radio in West Philadelphia, with nice, clean, good-looking background, and Jerry Wilson's looking good, everything's looking nice. So that's kind of new. We may switch that up. We also have a couple other new things going on. We have a new magazine, which we should show, scheduled as in slide format, part of the show. We'll also have our regular breaks and commercial as well. That's going to be exciting for all our artists. So we have a new magazine, especially for artists and your talent. You can get in touch with us. We believe you probably do qualify to be on our magazine, where you're trying to get on all other type of magazines. So we're doing that for artists, And also we've got a new radio station. Actually, a couple of new radio stations going on. I don't know if I said it last time, so we're going to bring you up to speed. So we're on the dial now, 89.1 FM. And it's a big three radio station format, a combination of WVSR, the old radio station you guys have used to, been around, Power WVSR. We've been around for over 20 years. My kids have grown up now. My kids started on radio when they were little guys, 2 and 3 years old, and now we are doing, of course, the Philly Funk Radio, which has been around for 20 years. I don't want to tell Jerry Wilson's age, but he's been around for over 20 years with his own radio station. And we have the new WVSR WPMR combination. And that's really hot. So we tie in phillyfunkradio.com, WVSR, WPMR.org, and you end up with all three radio stations. And there's a fourth station. It's a brand new, I'm pioneering this type of radio. It's called the Art Gallery Radio Station. So we're online, and now if you are into art, the fine arts, we're promoting the fine arts. What are the fine arts? It could be all type of things, as long as it involves drawing. So if you are an airbrush artist, that involves drawing. If you are a computer artist, you still can draw on a computer. That involves drawing, pencil drawing involves drawing. So with this, this fine arts, I really enjoy art. And we're going to try to have a blend with music involved with the posters and with the art. So that's the update with what's happening with Vanstone Productions Foundation. And of course, we're going to now get into the hot topic, which we're going to carry the whole show. Basically, even when we look at the slides for a second, we want to get back to what's actually happening. Oh, and there's another new thing too as well. I'm trying to really think about what we're working on. So for the longest, PhillyFunkRadio.com, you have been able to go there and enjoy the music. But the main thing now is the format. Different live shows, time slots, starting as early as I believe like maybe 6 o'clock or a little bit before in the morning, all the way up to say 10:30, Monday through Friday weekday. So we're now going to add some context to compete against your national radio stations that you listen to all around. Steve Harvey is, in different states there. So we have this podcast. We're going to actually drop the audio version into the regular slot programming on Philly Funk Radio. We're looking forward to that to be, I believe, 4-hour time slot, 2:30 to 6:30. I'm going to see how you viewers and listeners enjoy that as well. So just in case you don't catch us on YouTube or Facebook, you're going to catch us directly on radio where you can actually listen to the program. And I'm really excited about that because we really need to build this up, especially now we have a lot to say with what has happened in the election. And last but not least, of course, we have our video comics where we have our video shows, films, and music videos and so forth and so on, black animation. And you can go to any of our websites and, of course, the newspapers, Philadelphia Front Page News, and check out the daily news. We're pushing weather, traffic, and news constantly now. So this is what's going on. We're back for the end of 2024 going into 2025. All right, Jerry, let's get into it. Let's go to the first thought that you have in mind with this election.
Of course. Well, everybody's talking about it. Of course, Mr. Trump is going to be back in office for another 4 years. Unfortunately, Kamala Harris did not win. And we were talking about this earlier, about the reasons that she did not win. I originally thought that she was going to sweep, but in fact, it was the other way around, where Trump ended up sweeping. And let me ask you, what do you think was the main contributing factor to her loss?
Okay. Well, as a political analyst, I am the top political analyst for this station. So everyone basically is looking forward to my answer. First of all, I'll be honest, just in case our viewers didn't know, I made the prediction that Donald Trump would lose and that Kamala Harris, vice president, would sweep. Well, my prediction came wrong. So why? What actually happened? The bottom line is real simple. This country is a racist country. That's the bottom line. That is the answer. So when they looked at the data and the numbers, what happened is that you had a surge of white voters. And we're talking about a surge, which is really bizarre. You had voters who were first-time voters, and it was a surge of white women voters for the first time in that. And then also you had a surge of first-time young white male voters for the first time. So with that combination, no matter what happened, no matter what the Democrats had done, no matter how many people have voted on the other side for Kamala Harris, it would have came out a victory for Trump anyway. Because when you do the math, you have more women registered voters in this country by 4 million. So I did the numbers, because this is what our viewers rely on me to do, to be accurate and look at facts. There are 4 million more registered women voters than men. So you think about whatever the scenario is, it's a losing, combination, whoever the women vote against. That's the number one answer.
Now, what do you think about, they said that one of the main reasons for Kamala's loss was that, A, they said that a lot of black men had a problem with Harris, and two, they said it was a lot of Hispanics that voted for Trump in spite of Trump's proposed immigration ban and mass deportations.
Okay, so that's what's called a hodgepodge, half truth and half lie. The half truth is that there was a surge of Hispanic males who did vote highly for Trump. Okay, the reasons behind that is all kind of answers, mainly racism again. So the thing that I didn't understand why Kamala Harris didn't really just go really hardcore and just basically say that if you vote for Trump, you're a racist. If you vote for Trump, you're wrong. And the reason why that can be said is because voting is not really about, it's just what you prefer. It's not. If the candidate is saying that he's going to do all these things that are wrong, then in that case, why would you vote for that person? That's really the bottom line. So the males who are Hispanics, there was a surge and they voted for Trump. That was a problem, but that's really not why she lost. So I'll say again, the numbers regardless is what's going to put you over. So if you look at the voting numbers that Trump had in the last election, which he lost to Joe Biden, believe it or not, in this election, over those 4 years, he had the exact same numbers. So Trump didn't grow number-wise in voters, which means that all those people that voted for him are the same people in this country, the same racist people who are not going anywhere. And, the people who are against racism, Hispanics, whites, Asian, those numbers actually did increase in this election for Kamala Harris.
Do you think she might have been a little too nice? Because even you said she didn't go after him, and that's another thing that I heard is that the Democrats a lot of times they're too about feeling good and about this and about that, when obviously the people like dirt. They like mudslinging. They like people to go hard. And I think that's what attracted a lot of people to Trump was that, he didn't sugarcoat. He doesn't sugarcoat anything, even if he lies. And that's what I'm also hearing that, like I said, the Democrats, they're too nice. Stop being so nice. Nobody wants to hear that anymore.
That's a great question. And the real answer in politics is no. It wasn't that she was too nice. Because if you watched her, I watched every time there was a challenge, there was all kind of statements that was made. And every time she actually took those statements on, and when she kind of like raised her voice in her anger based on the things that Trump was saying, the only pushback was from, of course, the Trump supporters was that, oh, she's an angry black woman. So no. Just the numbers. There's just no way, regardless of what Kamala Harris had done. I mean, she ran an excellent campaign. Now there were some mistakes, but a lot of mistakes are going to go on both sides. So, but just because there were some mistakes, that's not really the reason why that she lost.
All right, we're gonna take a small break, and we will return right after this.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost and lonely. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still life to live. for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me in ways that I never knew that I could be broken. And I contemplated suicide. Afterwards, we found out his girlfriend, she was pregnant. If that was my grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone.
Store your gun securely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo.
All right, and we are back right here on the Philly Live Show, broadcasting. Well, we're taping this live. So we're going to go back to speaking about this topic. Speaking of the election, so don't know if you heard, but apparently some racist text messages were being sent out. I don't know if you got one, or you've seen it on the news, but it was text messages being sent out apparently to only African Americans, black people, that said you were chosen to pick cotton. You need to be ready at this particular time because we're going to send a van to pick you up with executive slaves to take you to work on a plantation. Did you hear about that?
I did, but before I answer that, let's remind our viewers and listeners, of course, you're watching the Philly Live Show. I'm Van Stone, your host, the face behind the voice. You're here with my co-host, Jerry Wilson, and possibly Whitney Hickson. So far, she's not here, but we're going to throw our name out because just in case she's always, watching the show. So, yes, of course, I've heard about it, and it was primarily to black people, but it was also sent out to some people who have the so-called immigration background. That's what's expected. We are now in a country which has taken us all the way back to 100% slavery. I had a conversation with my son just yesterday. My son, he's 17 years old. He's a part of the show, the big format. He does his shows, Heroes of the Lascaux, film, black animation, but all the characters come from all kind of backgrounds, superheroes, whether they're animal characters who speak as humans or human characters, who speak as animals. That's basically what most of us as black Americans are about. My son was really shocked to hear the facts, is that we are now slaves. We are. You and I, Jerry, now, we're slaves. And I said to him, here's the thing, most people are going to deny that because